All right, guys, after you finish 1.6, which is Study Buddy, you're going to start creating your own coloring book. As we talked about in class, your coloring book is going to require you to have different coloring pages, different coloring options, and we want you to kind of create some of your own coloring pages for this. And we're going to use a program called Ibis Paint for that. If you already know how to use Ibis, you don't have to watch this tutorial. If you are brand new to Ibis like I was, this is for you. In the middle of your screen, we're just going to slide down and type in IBIS. Ibis Paint shows up as my top hit, so I'm going to go ahead and open that. This is your landing screen. In here, you can see My Gallery, Collection, or Online Gallery. We're going to stick with My Gallery for now. Yours is probably empty. I've been playing with it a little bit to see what I could do. So for you guys, since you're going to be new to the gallery, you're going to hit the plus sign up here. This creates a new canvas. You have a couple options here. You can choose to import a previous picture. You've got all these sizes that you can choose from. We don't really care what sizes you choose, but make sure that each of your coloring pages is about the same size. So I've got all this in here. Oops, wrong button. I'm going to hit OK, and there is my blank canvas that I'm going to be able to use. You should have a tutorial pop up on the page as soon as you load it. It says a huge number of backgrounds. Each time you hit OK, it's going to give you new tutorials that you can choose from. So now what I want to do is go through a couple of the tools and toolbars that you have. And if you're following along with this and the tutorials that we linked on Canvas, this is tutorial number 3 for toolbar and tool selection. This is set up kind of like Photopea is, where most of your menus are over here. They are all labeled, so they're pretty easy to figure out what goes where. And then you have your tool selection window, which is up here at the top, where you have your selection area tool, stabilizer, ruler, things like that. Then from here, we're going to try to create a sketch by hand. So in here, we have layers. Your layers are down at the bottom. When you click on your layers, it opens up a layers menu, much like Photopea, except this one can shrink down into the ground. So I'm in my layers. I've got layer 1 clicked, and I'm actually going to click on the camera over here because I want to trace a picture rather than draw my own because I don't draw. So I import from photo library. Here's all of my photo library. So I can pick any picture I want. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to choose Harry Potter. So I bring him in. I can drag on him. So like I put my finger right here on Harry and I can drag him to move him around the page. I can also use these blue handles to resize it, just like with any normal picture. When I'm done moving him around, I can come over here, hit my check mark, and it tells me that the extract line drawing filter is suitable for a photo of a line drawing, which mine is because he's got the black outlines around everything. Would you like to launch it? I can either hit cancel or OK. I want to do this on my own, so I'm going to hit OK. If you want to hit, or I'm sorry, I'm going to hit cancel. If you want to hit OK, that's fine. So I cancel it. And I can see that when I did that, it brought in another layer. So I have my background layer, which is empty, my layer 2, which is where Harry is, and my selection layer. Since I want to create a drawing, like I'm going to trace Harry because I know I can't draw him on my own, then I need to make a sketch layer. So here's my drawing. I'm going to create a new layer on top of my drawing, my little plus sign. So, sorry, I'm going to hit my little plus sign. It gives me a new layer. So I've got a blank, a Harry, and a blank. I'm going to make sure that I'm selected on this blank layer, but that Harry is still visible. And then I can come over here into my tools and I'm going to start tracing Harry. So when I click on brush, it brings up this menu. Anything that is locked with an ad, if let's say I really wanted this dip pen, if I click on it, it says I can use it for free for 18 hours if I watch an ad. You are welcome to do that. I'm not going to sit here in the video and make you watch an ad with me. But if you want to do that, hit use it for free. You'll watch the ad, you'll be good to go. I'm going to pick a pen that I already have access to. After I pick it, I can just click back on my screen. And then, this is way easier for me if I use my crayon. So I'm going to turn my crayon on, and I'm going to start tracing. Now, I have no idea right now if I'm actually coming in, except you can kind of see a little bit where I'm going over the lines that match Harry. So I know that I'm doing something. If I want to see how accurate I'm being, and I know that I'm not, I can come back down here onto my layers. And this little eyeball that's next to Harry, I'm going to click on that, and I can see this is what I've drawn so far. So I'm going to turn Harry back on, make sure I'm still on the layer that I meant to draw on, and I'm going to keep drawing. I'm not too worried if I'm not exact, because eventually the Harry that it came with, I'm going to erase, because if I choose to use that, that's copyright infringement. But if I trace it, then it's my own work. Not very good work, but still my own work. Okay, I'm not sure exactly where I'm at on my drawing right now. So again, I'm going to go in and look, hide it, turn it back on, and I think I'm okay. Once I have this, I personally like to keep using this particular layer to be able to see what I'm doing, but you don't have to. You can turn it off. So I've got my Harry, I've got my tracing of Harry layer, and I see he doesn't have eyeballs, so I'm going to draw in the eyeballs real quick. And then I know that I need to add his scar. His scar is not going to be black because that's how it would end up showing up. I can change my color down here. I'm going to click on my color, choose something a little more scar-ish. There, now I've got his scar on there. I'm going to need some eyebrows. It shows me that this is the color I was on. This is the color I'm choosing. Those look like good eyebrow colors. I'm going to pick those. Now, turn that off, see where I'm at. Beautiful. I know that I am not a very good colorer, and I don't want my coloring to show up outside my black lines, and I don't want it to be on the same layer as my outline. So I'm going to create a new layer again. Remember, I do that right here by hitting plus. I've added a layer, it's behind my outline. So now, making sure that I'm on my layer 4, now I can take my brush, I'm going to stay on my brush. I'm going to go to something a little thicker than my pens, like fashionable pen. I don't have to unlock that one, so I'm going to pick that. And then I'm going to pick a color, which right now I'm still on the color for his eyebrows, so I think I'm going to use that for his hair. And I can just start coloring in his hair. You can also use the paint bucket if you're not going to change layers. If I tried to use the paint bucket right now, it would actually fill the entire screen because I'm not on the same layer as the lines, so they're different. So I would go through. I can see that I'm coloring in his hair on a different layer than his background, which is on a different layer than the Harry that is original, even though he's turned off right now. So your job today is to create one of these outlines. You don't have to color it in an Ibis because we're making a coloring book, but you do need some outlines. So when you're happy, you've got an outline like this. This is going to be the picture that's one of my coloring pages. I would then take this picture, excuse me, and put it into the background as one of my App Inventor files. If you have questions, let us know. All right, when I'm done with my coloring page, I'm going to come down here to the little left arrow that looks like a back button, but really it gives me a menu that says I can save as a PNG. And then I can hit that same arrow again and say go back to my gallery. Once I'm in my gallery, I have a couple options here. It gives me a time down here. If I hit play, it tells me how long I actually spent drawing this, and it makes like a time-lapse video. It's kind of cool. Not really necessary for us. But then next to it is the share arrow. So I'm going to hit the up arrow. I'm going to choose PNG. And then my second option down is save image. When I do that, go back to my photos. It's now in my camera roll a whole bunch of times because I've done this a few times. If you have questions, let us know, but you need to have at least 3 different drawings for your coloring book for App Inventor.